My name is Tom Wilson, and I's 84 years old. My mammy was named Kayleen, and my pappy was Jeff Wilson. Us live right out on the old Jim Wilson place, right by New Zion Church. I live there and own me a plot of ground and farms. Well, us belong to Marse Jim and Miss Nancy Wilson. I was born right out there, but my mammy was brung down from Tennessee. She come by here to Marse Jim, but for that, her was sold for $1,000. My mammy was a big sporty woman and brung a lot of money, and my pappy, he brung 900. Marse Jim bought him off at the block. So I don't know just where from. I just remembers about hearing him tell about being sold. Before them was field hand. Lord, Mama could plow just like a man all day long, then milk 20 cows, and after she quit the field that night. The big house was made out of log and reckon it had about 7 or 8 rooms in it. And the kitchen sat a piece front of the main house. There was one brick chimney and one dirt one, and a great big wide porch across the front of the house. I remember Miss Nancy and white folks would sit out there of an evening and make us little colored children dance and sing out and caper and to amuse them. Then they had a trough built, about like a pig trough, and they would make the cook bake a great big slab of cornbread and put it in the trough and pour milk or lasses over it and turn us little colored children loose on it. And I'll tell you, about much went in our hair and our eyes as went as our mouth. I reckon there was about 200 or 300 acres in Marse Jim's place. Us raised cotton, taters, and hogs. No, slaves didn't have no plot of their own. Marse Jim give us our rations every week. Well, most of the colored people cook their victuals over the fireplace in their own houses. Us did have possums and taters. My mammy worked in the loom room at night by light of a pine knot. In the big house, they had tallow candles, 'cause I remember my mammy molding them. No, the spinning wheels was kept in the kitchen of the big house. It had a dirt floor. Us just wore old suits made out of lower cloth, what Mammy wove on the loom. I don't remember wearing no shoes. I just played round about the place and helped with the cleaning up and dishwashing, kinda a houseboy I was. When we got sick, Mammy made us pills out of herbs. She taken May apple roots and boiled it down to a syrup. Then she let that dry out and rolled it into pills. They sure was fine for most anything we might have. Christmas was a mighty glad time for us. Yes'm, we got extra rations and had time off for play and kick our heels. Gently had about a week off. Tell you what Marse Jim would do. When Christmas come round, he'd send one of the colored men's out to get a log and say, now, long as this log burn, y'all can have often work, 'cause then they used to hunt the biggest gum log and then soak it in the stream so it would burn on a long time. They put it on back and the fire, and it would burn most a week. No, could none of us read or write, and us we'd never learn till after us was set free. Then some went to little schools for the colored people. I sure have seen my mama whipped and most other people whipped. Marse Jim, he had a strap of leather stuck in the slit end of that, and he sure did whoop 'em laid across a barrel. Once my pappy run away, and Marse Jim got the bloodhounds after him and cotched him up 'fore he could get far. And that day he lay him cross the barrel and whooped him from sun up to sundown. When he quit off, my pappy couldn't talk no more nor whisper scarcely. Patty rollers, I heard 'em all right, 'cause they sure did get you if'n you went abroad without a pass from Marse Jim. One day us little colored children was frolicking out in the front yard, and Miss Nancy and some was sitting on the porch. And all of a sudden I see somebody coming down the road, and I say, "Look, what's that?" And white folks run to the woods and hid out case they seen it was cavalry, about a mile long coming down the road. Soldier rid right up to me and stuck his bayonet at me and said, "Boy, where the tater house?" And I sure did show him where 'twas. Dem soldiers sure was starved. They took 30 tater punks, 15 or 20 chickens, and 5 hams. Den they went in the smokehouse and grabbed off 5 or 10 pounds of sausage, middling and sides. They took enough grub to load 3 wagons and took it over to the New Zion Church about a mile from us. And right there they camped that night. That was after the siege of Vicksburg. Marse Jim didn't care, but he sent us over next morning to get the leavings, and there was a wagon load, or just the leavings. I members when us was set free. Yes, 'twas in the middle of the winter, and Marse Jim was so mad about it, he went off down to a little stream of water and broke the ice and jumped in. And he died about 2 weeks after of the pneumonia. I was glad to get my freedom 'cause I got out from under them whippings. After that, us bought land from the Wilsons, what was left, and I've been a farming there ever since.